Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Students, today we are going to start with the new topic, that is linear recurrence. Before that, we have got the concept of recursion, that is what is meant by a recursive equation that is going to have some dependency on the previous terms in order to generate the current term or a present term. Now, there is a linear form of recurrence, and with this form, we are going to find its particular solutions. And what is in fact meant by certain solutions is that against a given recursive equation, you are going to find an explicit formula for that equation. And I have told it many times, that is, I have elaborated the difference between a recursive equation and an explicit formula. Definitely, recursiveness is going to vividly show you some dependency on the previous terms, whereas for a explicit formula that is against a certain variable n or any other number, then that is basically going to give you the dependency on the variable n, that how a certain particular term for an nth value is being generated, right? So whenever we are going to relate a current term with the previous term, we are talking about recursive equation. Whenever we are going to have a formula that is going to show you the dependency on n, that is how by plugging a certain value of n, you are going to evaluate that term or the value of that term, then that is known as explicit formula. So let's start with the linear recurrence. First, starting with the definition, that is, recurrence is linear if it is of the form f of n is equals to a1 f of n minus 1 plus a2 f of n minus 2 and so on up to a d f of n minus d, right? That is, it is not necessarily we are dependent upon the very previous term or the next term to it. We can have recursiveness up to a certain value or index, and that index is being denoted by d. That is, it is moving up to f of n minus d, right? Now we can write this equation in a compact form. Sorry, what is actually meant by a compact form is that we are going to represent it in the form of a summation, right? Enclosing it in a summation. So whenever we have to enclose it in a summation, first we have to start with the variable of that summation. Say I am taking that variable I. From where this I is going to start, that is quite clear from the given equation. That is the first, in the first term, we are having f of n minus 1, right? A delay of 1. So definitely it is going to start from 1, and in the last term you can see it is moving up to f of n minus d. So summation is proceeding from I equals to 1 till d. Now coming to these constants, these coefficients that are in fact attached with every term, they are being represented as a subscript I. That is a of 1, then a of 2, and so on, are moving up to a of d. And what I'm going to write next is f of n minus I. That is this index I, the first value with 1, then the next value is 2, 3, and so on. Final value will be d. So this is going to have some fixed values of ai, because they are in fact coefficients or constants, and we say that the order of this linear recurrence equation, order means कि आपकी linear recurrence equation किस maximum delay तक जा रही है, right? जैसे n-1 है, n-2 है, n-3 है, and so on. So what was the last term? That is going to denote the order of the linear recurrence equation. So D is basically the order of the equation. Order of the recursive equation आप कह सकते हैं. how to find a explicit formula that is not involving some recurrence, rather it is just giving you a form in terms of n, because it is basically a function of n. So in order to find that formula, we are going to start with a certain solution. What is that solution is in fact, we are going to try with f of n that is having a form alpha raised to the power n for some constant alpha. So f of n is going to be, for example, I'm taking an example here. Suppose that this f of n is f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2. I'm starting with a very simple example, and then we are going to try some other questions with different possibilities. Okay, for example, मेरे पास इक्वेशन है जिसका मैक्सिमम डिले कहाँ तक जा रहा है n-2 तक. You can very well tell me that what will be the order of this equation. The order of this equation is 2. That is, here d is equals to 2, right? And we can also guess what is a1 and a2, that is the coefficients attached with these two terms. So if you compare this equation with this equation, we can easily find out what will be the value of the first coefficient a1 and the second coefficient a2. Here it is very clear that these two coefficients are in fact 1, because we are not seeing any other multiple here with these terms. So here a1 is also 1 and a2 is also equals to 1, right? So one very common technique in order to find the solutions, or in fact you can say in order to find the formula for such recursive equations, is to take f of n in the form of alpha power n, right? Now with this alpha power n, right, f of n की जगह मैं plug in करी हूँ alpha power n. अगर f of n alpha power n है, what will be f of n minus 1? That is exactly going to be alpha power n minus 1. That is, n is replaced by n minus 1 when उस powers में जो n था उसको replace किया n minus 1 से, plus alpha raised to the power n minus 2. That is, इस again powers में यहाँ पे n minus 2 था तो वही यहाँ पे आपका reflect हो रहा है. Now here this n that is in the power, that basically denotes the order of equation, recursive equation, right? So here order is basically up to what maximum delay you are having the terms. Plugging in value n equals 2. आप इसको बिल्कुल as it is, this is same like d, that is a order of the difference equation. So this is going to be alpha square, that is going to be alpha power n की जगह 2 minus 1 है तो 1 plus alpha power n minus 2, that is 2 minus 2, that is going to be 0. So the equation is going to be alpha square is equals to alpha plus 1, right? Let's move forward. So this is going to be, let me rewrite it here, alpha plus 1 सब लिखो, alpha square minus alpha plus 1 equals to 0, right? So this is basically a quadratic equation and we can find its roots. So alpha is going to be alpha, the quadratic formula use कर रही हूँ, that is minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, right? So this is in fact going to be, sorry, let me erase it. Alpha is going to be 1 because here b is minus 1, the minus b is going to be plus 1, plus minus under root 1 square, that is 1, plus 4, right? Sorry, I have written one thing wrong here, that is in fact minus sign because I have moved it to the left side, divided by 2a, so that is simply 2. So this is going to be 1 plus minus under root 5 divided by 2. So the two possible roots are, let me call it alpha 1, that is 1 plus under root 5 divided by 2. Second root alpha 2, that is equals to 1 minus under root 5 divided by 2. So the fact here is that if f of n, कि अभी हमने सपोज किया था alpha power n, let me call it alpha 1 power n, and f of n is equals to alpha 2 power n, because here we have come up with two roots. ये भी इसी का possible solution है और दूसरा भी इसी का possible solution है. So if these two are the solution to a linear recurrence, then f of n is equals to c1 alpha 1 power n plus c2 alpha 2 power n is also a solution for any constants c1 and c2. Now, if you people have read Laplace transformation, Laplace formula, then you can easily relate to it. The only difference is that वहाँ पे जो आपके पास रूट्स आती थी वो आप लिखते थे से s of t is equals to c1 e power a1t plus c2 e raised to the power a2t, right? Here in the Laplace transformation, it was in the form of e raised to the power a1 and a2, where a1 and a2 were the roots of that equation. But in case of a linear recurrence equation, that is not a function of t, rather it is a function of n that is holding some discrete values, that is in the form of c1 alpha 1 power n plus c2 alpha 2 power n, right? And the next job is to find these c1 and c2, that is basically with the help of initial conditions. So against these two roots, that is alpha 1 and alpha 2, what will be our generalized solution? That is going to be, since f of n is c1 alpha 1 power n plus c2 alpha 2 power n, right? So f of n is c1 alpha 1 हमारे पास क्या आया था 1 plus under root 5 divided by 2, जो फर्स्ट रूट थी, raised to the power n, plus c2 1 minus under root 5 divided by 2 raised to the power n, right? So this is a solution for the equation, which equation? That is f of n is equals to f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2. ये रिकर्सिव फॉर्म थी और ये उसका एक्सप्लिसिट फॉर्मूला है, बट विदाउट boundary conditions. What is meant by boundary conditions? Here we haven't employed the boundary conditions, and in fact without that we can't find the values of c1 and c2. Okay ji. Now next step is to find the values of these constants, right? So let's determine these constants. In order to find these constants, let me employ the boundary conditions. The boundary conditions given to me is f of 0 is 0. That are in fact the initial conditions. Boundary conditions are also known as initial conditions. And another initial condition given to us is f of 1 is 1. right? Now let's find the values of these two constants, that is C1 and C2, with the help of these initial conditions. Let me write it here, that is these two are the initial conditions. Okay, let's start with f of 0, right? F of 0 means n is equals to 0, and that is in fact 0. So plugging it in this formula, this is going to give me on the right hand side C1 and this whole thing, that is 1 plus under root 5 by 2 raised to the power 0 plus C2 and this whole thing raised to the power 0. Dot means the whole value, that is 1 plus under root 5 by 2 and 1 minus under root 5 by 2, right? So this is equals to, that is 0, f of 0 is equals to C1, anything raised to power 0 is 1, plus C2, again anything raised to the power 0 is 1. So C1 plus C2 is simply equals to 0, or you can say C1 is equals to minus C2, right? So this is one relationship between these two, that they are just the uh, sign reciprocal of each other, that is if one is positive then the other one is negative. So let me call it equation 1. Let's move forward and work with f of 1, that is 1. So this is going to be C1 1 plus under root 5 by 2 raised to the power 1 plus C2 1 minus under root 5 divided by 2 raised to the power 1. So 1 is equals to C1 1 plus under root 5 by 2 plus C2 1 minus under root 5 by 2, because anything raised to power 1 is simply 1. So 1 is equals to C1 by 2 plus C1 under root 5 by 2 plus C2 by 2 minus C2 under root 5 by 2. Very simple, just opening these two equations. So these two terms are going to cancel each other, and I am left with C1 by 2 plus C2 by 2, right? Now, as we know that C1 is equals to minus C2. So, 1 is equals to C1 by 2 and C2 is equals, or you can say C2 is equals to minus C1. So, this is minus C1 by 2, right? Okay, ji. So, sorry, there is some mistake here. Let me erase it. Sorry, here I have done a mistake. That is, these two can't be cancelled with each other. This is going to be C1 under root 5 by 2 plus C2 by 2 minus C2 under root 5 by 2. Sorry, I have cancelled D2, rather they can't cancel each other because this is C1 and this is C2. Now I'm going to plug in, that is C2 is equals to minus C1, right? So this is going to be minus C1 by 2 and minus minus will be plus. So this will be C1 under root 5 by 2, right? Now these two terms are going to cancel each other, and what we are left is, this is 2 times C1 under root 5 by 2. That is adding these two terms, right? So this is going to be 1 is equals to C1 times under root 5, or you can say C1 is equals to 1 by under root 5. And applying this, C2 is equals to minus 1 over under root 5, right? So let me write the final solution here. The final solution f of n, that was, let me write the previous one first. 1 plus under root 5 by 2 raised to the power n plus C2 1 minus under root 5 by 2 raised to the power n. Putting the values of C1 and C2, this is 1 by under root 5, 1 plus under root 5 by 2 raised to the power n minus 1 by under root 5 into 1 minus under root 5 divided by 2 raised to the power n. So this is the final solution of f of n, that is in fact the explicit formula that is showing you the dependency on n along with the constants, that is C1 and C2. Okay, ji. Now let's move on to solving a general linear recursion. That is basically of the form f of n is equals to summation I from 1 to d a of I f of n minus I, the form that I have just written before. So we are going to try with f of n is equals to alpha power n, and with f of n equals to alpha power n, that is simply I from 1 to d a of I f of n minus I is going to be alpha raised to the power n minus I. So alpha power n is equals to a1 alpha raised to the power n minus 1 plus a2 alpha raised to the power n minus 2, so on up to ad alpha raised to the power n minus t. Opening this equation and putting in the value, that is the first one and the last one. Now where d is basically the degree of the equation, that how far we are going to move previously. So here putting alpha power d is equals to a1 alpha power d minus 1, a2 alpha power d minus 2, so on up to ad alpha power d minus t. That is in fact 0. So the equation at hand is going to be alpha power d is equals to a1 alpha power d minus 1 plus a2 alpha power d minus 2, so on up to the last term, that is ad, right? Because alpha power 0 is going to be 1. So what we are finally left with is that alpha power d, moving the terms on the right hand side to the left hand side, we get minus a1 alpha power d minus 1 minus a2 alpha power d minus 2 minus last term will be a d, and on the right hand side we are going to have the 0. This is called characteristic equation. People must have read it about in the Laplace transformations and the homogeneous solutions, right? So this is basically the characteristic equation for the given recursive equation. And with the help of this recursive equation, we are going to find different solutions against different cases. That is, first one is a very simple case when the roots are different. Then a tricky case is the one then where we are going to have repeated roots, and then we are also going to find the homogeneous solution and the particular solutions. So with the help of these equations, we are going to find certain equations and we can solve it for certain problems. Okay, let's quickly solve a question here related to this characteristic equation. Suppose there is a plant that produces 1 for 1 only in the first year of its life. That is, it is going to produce a new plant only in its first year of life. Once it has switched into the second year, it is not going to produce it anymore. So it is going to produce only in the first year of its life and never again. Right? The plant lives forever. It is never ever going to die. Lives forever. Now, how fast the plant production will grow. That is, after a certain number of years, how many plants does we are going to have after a certain number of years, right? Because there is a plant, for example, there is a single plant. It produces one more plant only in the first year of its life and then never again. And that very plant is definitely going to live forever. Now, the plant that it has produced in the first year, it is definitely going to produce one more plant in its first year of its life and so on. So, with this scenario or under this condition, we are going to find how many number of plants will be by the end of n years. Right? So, let's start with the solution. Let f of n be the number of plants in n years. Okay? Or you can say after the nth year, say this is 5th year, 4th year, 30th year, 25th year, whatever it is, how many number of plants we are going to have. So the function is basically dependent on the n, that is the number of years. We can very well see here that f of 0, that is at the 0th year when there was nothing at all, we are going to have only a single plant. We are not going to have any plant, that is 0. After 1 year, because it is going to produce one plant in 1 year, in the first year of its life. So when the first year starts, that is because if 0 year, no timing, then definitely there is nothing, that is 0. So in the first year of its life, it is going to produce a one plant, and that plant is going to live forever. So in the first year f of 1, it is going to have 1. What about f of 2? We are going to have one plant that was in the previous year and the one that was being produced in that year. So this is going to be 2. Similarly, what about f of 3? That is simply the one new plant that is being produced and the 2 previous plants. So that is simply going to be 3 and so on, right? Can we have a recursive formula for it, that is going to be f of n, f of n minus 1, राइट, जो प्रीवियस ईयर में आपके पास प्लांट था, प्लस f of n minus 1 minus f of n minus 2, right? This is in fact the equation for the new plants that are being produced in their first years, right? And that term is basically going to denote the number of plants that are 1 year old, right? So f of n is going to be 2 times f of n minus 1 minus f of n minus 2, right? This is basically the equation that is giving you the new plants that are adding in, right? So what is the degree of this equation? That is simply 2, because the maximum delay is 2, right? So we can write the characteristic equation here. This is going to be alpha power n 2 alpha power n minus 1 minus alpha power n minus 2. With d equals to 2, this is going to be alpha square 2 times alpha 2 minus 1 1 minus alpha power 2 minus 2, that is 0, so 1. So the characteristic equation at hand is going to be alpha square is equals to, alpha square minus 2 alpha plus 1 is 0. This is the characteristic equation, right? So, or you can say that this is a whole square formula, alpha minus 1 raised to the power 2 is equals to 0. Or you can say that alpha 2 is equals to plus 1, let me write it alpha 1 and alpha 2. This is in fact alpha 1. Alpha 2 is equals to plus 1. Both are in fact equals to plus 1. So f of n is equals to c1 alpha 1 power n plus c2 alpha 2 power n. सेम वही फॉर्म हम यूज करें यहाँ पे. c1 alpha 1 is having a value 1. 1 raised to the power n is simply 1 plus, this is going to have same roots, so that is going to be n times plus c2 times n. Now applying the initial conditions, f of 0 is equals to 0. This is going to be c1 plus c2 times 0. So c1 is simply 0. And the other initial condition, f of 1, that is 1. That is going to be c1 plus c2 times 1. That is 1 is equals to c1 plus c2. Or you can say c1 being equals to 0, c2 is equals to 1. Now with these two values, let me write it here. F of n is equals to, referring to this equation, c1 is 0 and this is going to be n times c2. So f of n is simply n, c2 being equals to 1. So the function f of n is totally dependent upon n, or you can say it is a linear function of n, right? So this brings me to the end of the lecture. In the next lecture, we are going to uh, start with this characteristic equation, where we are going to have the different cases where we are going to have different roots, repeated roots, and what other forms can be possible. So do thoroughly go through the lecture, and if you people have any queries, you can ask in the interactive session. Thank you.